right, let's go through our plan and our indicators, okay? As we always do at the end of our high noon highlights, I like to go over our current positions. What indicators am I looking at? And what is the trade plan, okay? Well, since we talked about Bitcoin last, we might as well start with that. Bitcoin, again, nothing really has changed. Status quo, again, like I said, trading is a lot of waiting, okay? I'm waiting to buy the dip on Bitcoin. If it gets to our red line here on Bitcoin to gold ratio, I will be buying, as well as Ethereum, okay? I'm going to do 50-50 on this, okay? 50% Ethereum, 50% Bitcoin for my cryptocurrency allocation, all right? So that line here for Ethereum on the Ethereum gold chart is around 0.6. So if it gets to Ethereum gold ratio gets to about 0.6, I definitely will be buying Ethereum. Part of my crypto plan is also to buy a crypto miner in stock so I can sell some premium. I will be buying HUT once it gets to 165 or so. Last time it seems like we should have chased, but hopefully, I don't know. I still think that we see that one big pullback in the market. I think this was just a bear market rally for now. I think the Moab, the mother of all buy the dips, is going to happen soon. And when it does, hopefully HUT will get to that 165, 150 zone and we can add to our shares. Okay. Speaking of Moab, let's actually take a look at one of our indicators that we're looking at. It's the high-low line as well as the advanced decline line for New York Stock Exchange stocks. As you can see, the advanced decline line for New York Stock Exchange stocks, it is starting to come down now. Of course, this is all based on closing. The closing data is what matters the most. But already we're seeing it curve down a bit. Yesterday, actually, it popped up a lot. I was surprised at how much the advanced decline line went up, but now it's starting to curve down. Let's see if it holds for the day. Also, to our high-low also is down negative. Of course, we want to wait for the closing price. The cumulative high-low line looks like this as of yesterday's close. Again, this only updates during closing. It just gets added on to whatever yesterday's close was, and then it makes a cumulative line. So right now, the high-low line, again, from my analysis from past recessions and past stock market sell-offs, if this line doesn't curve up above all these moving averages, generally it's just a bear market rally. The rally really has no legs, and usually we see the continuation of the downtrend. It's only when it starts curving up and we get above all these moving averages, that's when we have a chance at the rally becoming a new bull market. Okay, so until I see that, it's a bear market rally. Until I see this, plus our junk bonds advanced decline line in our Discord go up, I'm going to remain neutral with a slight bearish bias, okay? So it is starting to curve up. I mean, it just popped up over its first moving average, which is the 4-day exponential moving average. Although, if it goes negative again today, if the high-low becomes negative again, it will curve back down below that moving average. So then it will, if it ends negative today, most likely it will end below all three moving averages. Okay. And again, we want it above all three of them before we call bottoms or, before we call the end of the bear market. Okay. So until we see that, not going to happen. Okay. Speaking of the AD line, this is what it looks like. I already updated this last night on our Discord. It's still going up. It still hasn't passed its June highs. We are still below that. And if HYG ends a little bit lower, I'm guessing this is going to end negative, which means, and if it curves down from here, I would consider that a lower high at that point, which is a continuation of this down trend, okay? Which is not good for a bull case. All right. So if you want to see what HYG looks like, this is what it looks like. It's down about 0.5% today, which is a pretty big decline for junk bonds. Okay. kind of looks like an evening star formation, does it not? If one believes in such things, that is, okay? If one believes in such things, all right? So that's the plan for crypto and some of the indicators that we're looking at. Another indicator that I'm looking at is the 5-year Treasury bond. Again, if this breaks down, dash for cash. If this goes up, cash is trash. If cash is trash, that means it's going to be risk on. A lot of risk assets are going to catch a bid if cash is trash. If there's a dash for cash, it's going to be risk off. All right. People are going to sell their risk assets to get into safety assets. Okay. So that's something that you can look at as well. Oh, one other thing that I want to look at. Another indicator of ours is our junk bond spread. It's the corporate bond spread relative to the 10-year. This is something you can get free on Fred. As you notice, it's been making higher lows. All right. If this breaks out to the upside, that's going to be a huge risk off signal. That means that there's a lot of risk to corporate earnings and a lot of perceived risk, a risk premium on corporate bonds over treasuries. Okay. That's a huge risk off signal. So be on the lookout for this. This is a lagging indicator. It lags about 2 or 3 days. Okay. So keep that in mind, guys. All right. Other plans. Let's take a look at some of our other plays. Ford. Oh my goodness. This stock just went. Oh, it's coming down a little bit. Okay, so it was at 15.5 earlier today. Oh, it is coming down. So again, around 1380 or so, that's when I'm going to start buying. Although if you do look at the weekly chart, it does look like as if it could fall into the 10s, maybe even below 10. So I'm going to leg in slowly. I'm going to start buying at 1380, but I'm going to have some dry powder just in case if it does get below 10, so I can get it at cheaper prices. All right. TLT, man, missed trade. You know, remember how guys told you that I might be buying it around 115 or so, and then I chickened out because of that job report. Again, coming back full circle, that discipline. We had a plan, but we changed it because I didn't have the discipline to follow through with it. I changed the plan. However, to my credit, though, I will say that we do have a big CPI report coming out, so we never know. We might see that $12 price target that I changed it to. If we see 12, I may venture into a long on TLT. All right, and that is from our copper to gold indicator. And just as a refresher, that copper to gold indicator has been a good indicator of the 10-year Treasury yield. All right, if you take copper divided by gold and multiply by 1,000, generally the 10-year has kind of tracked that number. So the commodities market, copper to gold, is telling us that the 10-year should be closer to around 2%. Okay, which means that yields would drop. That would be, that would mean that bond prices going up. So that's where my TLT thesis comes from. Okay, Tesla. It was going closer to our red line. All right, this is where we can really act with an edge and use this as a risk management line. If it hits that line, you buy some put spreads. If it closes 2 or 3 sessions above that, you get out for a very minimal drawdown, very minimum loss. All right. It was going there, but I guess it doesn't want to go there anymore. I don't know. We'll see. If we see a rally, we may see Tesla go up to that point. I'm still willing to buy those 2 to 3 month puts verticals once it gets to this red line here for Tesla. Okay. You can copy this red line yourself. Here's the daily chart for that too. We used this back in March, and we were able to have a very nice trade right here. If you go to my Twitter, you can actually see the trade that I took right here. I think I used ARK funds at the time as a proxy, okay? But I'm waiting for this red line right here to short Tesla, all right? So that's Tesla. Let's look at the index plays. SPY, same plan for getting long. I'm going to get long. If we get to 360, I'm going to start buying some shares. I'm going to save most of my share buying, though, for around 342 or so. And then if we go under 340, I'm going to start buying in the money call options that are 1 year out. All right. I'm still willing to buy some more put verticals on U.S. indices if S&P 500 can get to that our downtrend line here. This is the line where we see increased hedging or dash to cash behavior in the market. It didn't quite reach there. Actually, it was only just like a whisker away. How long? It was only like 20, 30 points away from hitting that line. And then it started coming back from it. If we do see that, maybe later this week or next week, if we do see it touch there, I'm willing to buy some more puts spreads on either SPY or QQQ once it hits that line, okay? But not yet, all right? We'll be patient on that. So let's just go through the trades right now that we have open. Starting with Dow Jones Industrial Average, we still have our put vertical spreads, the Octobers, 300, 290, long the 300, short the 290, 300, 290 put verticals for October. I am still in those. EWT, which is a Taiwan ETF, the December put verticals, I'm still in the 49.40, long the 49, short the 40 on EWT. So that's the 49.40 put vertical debit spread. FEZ, which is the Europe ETF, I'm still in the November put vertical spreads, the 32.27 put verticals, which is long the 32, short the 27. HUT, I already went over HUT. I'm still short those January 5 calls. I will get out when I make about 50 to 70% of max profit on those. IWM, teetering between break even and a slight loss, and a slight profit too, just teetering back and forth today. I'm still in the November and October 180, 170 put spreads. So long the 180, short 174, both expirations. And from last week as well, if you guys followed me, we're in QQQ as well too. The QQQ, we're in the Novembers so far in the 305, 295 vertical put spread, long the 305, short the 295, and of course UVXY. I'm still in the UVXY call spreads for December, the 14.24 call verticals, as well as the 15.20, long the 14, short the 24, long the 15, short the 20, okay? So that's what I'm looking at. Those are the current positions, the current indicators that I'm looking at, and the trade plan so far. Boom, checkmate trading. All right. Any questions, comments, rude remarks? Oh, I see some voice chat text. Speaking of Evening Star, IWM daily yesterday was bank. Good call. Well, I appreciate that, Nunya. I'm glad you were able to take advantage of that. I usually use that as just a way to confirm my overall bias. However, if you were able to take that trade, good for you. Actually, IWM, wow, it does that. That completes the Evening Star with today's price action if we close at these levels. So that should be very interesting. If we close at these levels or lower, definitely that's an Evening Star. Plus tomorrow's CPI report. If it tanks, I mean, boom, that's just your confirmation that we need. And then we're riding down. We're riding down to 176, 177 or so. Okay, straight path down. Let's see if we get there. Again, I'm not trying to predict the future. I'm just anticipating what could be. All right. The future is a range of possibilities, okay? But I'm glad you were able to capitalize on that, Nunya. Congratulations on your trade. Any other questions, comments, rude remarks?